Now, if we're not home in 2 hours, that means we decided to go on to a movie and won't be back till after midnight. Is that okay?
Sure.
Well, hi, I'm Rutanya Alda, and I'm an immigrant, believe it or not. You can tell by my crazy name. I was in the refugee camps in Germany after World War II. I'm not German, but I'm Latvian, but all the Eastern European countries had this, they were so destroyed by the bombings and everything. People were moving away, and anyway, we wound up in these in the refugee camps that were called displaced person camps. At first they were pretty awful. We lived in bombed out buildings with no ceilings, scratching for food, and went around to showing films. And my first movie was, later on I learned who the actors were, Gary Cooper and Paulette Goddard in a Western. I was hooked. I wanted to tell stories. I wanted to tell these wonderful stories. I wanted to be part of them. I wanted to be in the story. So that never changed. Of course, where do you go? Either Los Angeles or New York. So I went to New York, and I studied with the most famous people in New York, everybody, over the course of, many years. Anybody who wants to be an actor, you got to know it's really a challenge to just go through it and all the obstacles. But I was determined there was nothing else I wanted to do. So little by little, I would do these off Broadway things, things like that, on little early films, which I did, the early Brian De Palma films, Greetings and Hi Mom. Brian had these actors in both films, and we were all good at improv. So both those movies were totally improv. Deer Hunter was a great experience. I love Michael Cimino. Then when I went in to see Stallone, that was really a quick shoot. I think I was on it in only 2 days. Little doctor that delivers little Rocky. How I auditioned for When a Stranger Calls is Doug Chapin, who was one of the producers. Doug said, well, we're going to be doing this movie. Why don't you come in and audition? So I was, okay. So I went in and I had to audition for Fred Walton. And he was a very sweet young guy, just nice person. My time on this movie was pretty short. It was 2 or 3 days. They shot it under about $1 million budget. So I found out from Fred 2 years before he'd made 10 minutes short of this movie. And because it was $1 million film, I guess he got the financing, or Barry and Doug did. So it was relatively low budget for that time. I knew Carol when she got Hester Street. I was at the house of a mutual friend, Jane, when she had gotten the call earlier, I guess that day. She was nominated for Best Actress, and she was just thrilled. Jane and I knew that this was a totally life-changing moment for Carol. And Carol, she deserved it. She was wonderful in the movie. I don't have a close friendship with Carol, but we run into each other over the years, and she's certainly a very talented woman.
A man murders 2 children in cold blood. The jury declares him insane. How could such a person not be?
Carmine was just great. He was a great, we worked together really well. He would just give everything, like I felt I did too, in our work together. He was just, I would run into him afterwards many times, but we never worked together again. I think it did the job of reaching an audience that loves this kind of genre. And so I'm not surprised in the sense that an audience finds its movies and they're very loyal to its movies. It's like when I did Amityville 2. That was not critically received well. But now it's critically received. So, it's interesting that some films find an audience later, like Amityville 2, and some films, like When a Stranger Calls, I think found an audience rather quickly. New people get reintroduced to it, and they go, wow, and they love it. No, When a Stranger Calls is really I think it'll have one of those long lives, and people will see it, and new audiences will find it.